Hello everyone. Thursday, May 31st, 2018. Of course, yesterday was New Comic Book Day, which means right now today is New Comic Book Video time. Of course, as you know, unless you're living under a rock, Wednesday was the release of Amazing Spider-Man 800, and the book carried a $9.99 price point, and they had multiple covers, which meant it really bit into a lot of people's budget for the week. It bit into my budget for the week. Not that I didn't have the money to go over if I wanted to, but I try to stay within my price point every week. So I didn't buy some of the titles that I probably would have picked up because I did buy some multiple copies of 800. And like I said, you know, if you buy one 800, that's usually 2 or 3 other books. I wasn't able to do that this week, but I'm sure some of the books I'll be able to find. And if not, then, you know, nothing I can do about that. So let's jump right into the books. And then I have a couple of other things we'll touch bases on after that. First book I picked up, 404 No Justice. I hope they do something more with this. I enjoyed this storyline. I don't know how you felt about it, but I liked it. So I hope they keep it going. Amazing Spider-Man $7.99, second printing. Kind of a creepy little looking thing right there. I haven't, you know, that's a weird cover right there. But you know what? I loved the Red Goblin storyline. I loved what they did leading up to 800. And like I said, I'll pick up some of the multiple printings only because of, you know, I enjoyed that arc, so I think it's going to be something. Especially the earlier ones when people didn't really realize that there was a Red Goblin character coming out. 800 was the hot book. This was the book that I couldn't wait for. We've talked about this. It came out. That's Doomsday Clock number 5, the Joker cover. That's just a great cover right there. Picked up a couple of copies of this one here. The only problem with this book, and I'm getting this from a lot of people, including myself, it's so long between issues. I mean, before it came out pretty fast, and now the issues are just really dragging, and that hurts a storyline because people lose interest. Now, there's another cover coming out. I think it's issue 7. It's going to have Harley Quinn. I'm looking forward to that one, but this one here is just a wicked-looking cover. So if you like the Joker and you didn't get this, get it because that's a great-looking cover. Good story, good cover, good combination right there. One of my favorite books, and it's always been that way. I told you guys about Scooby Apocalypse. I love that storyline. This is another one we talked about when it came out. Stabity Bunny number 5. Scout Studios, or Scout Comics, excuse me. I love this storyline, and I love the character. So I like the Stabity Bunny storyline. Right there, number 5. I hope they keep it going. I like it. A book that I like. They don't come out real quick with this either. This is from Broadsword Comics, and this, of course, is Tarot. This is 110. There's a photo cover of 111 coming out that I'm looking forward to, but that's right there, 110. And that was it as it relates to non-Amazing Spider-Man 800 issues. So I will show you, I don't know the artists off the top of my head for these 800 issues, but I'm real tired anyways, so I'll show you the copies and I hope you like them. So this was cover 1 I picked up. Cover 2. I didn't pick up a lot of the higher price variants. I just stuck with the regular 800s because some of those books were going crazy online. And I think, honestly, you're going to be able to get them a little cheaper down the road. This was number 3. And what I thought was the best cover of the group was this here. I've told you in the past I kind of like simplistic. This was very simplistic for this. There was also a Virgin variant that came out. And the shop that I went to only has one. And somebody already got it, but there was a little damage on the spine, and personally, I wouldn't have bought it anyways. But there's that right there. I think the Virgin variant was a 1 in 100, but that's the book I really liked right there. So the problem I had, I didn't have a problem with the $9.99 price point. I thought it was a little excessive, but you know what? It's an iconic issue, 800. I've been reading Amazing Spider-Man since I was reading comics because I always liked the Spider-Man character and the cartoons and everything. So I would have bought it anyways, regardless of what the cost factor was. The problem I had is that they didn't make the book a square-bound book. They made it just a regular stapled-like book. And the corners on a lot of the books, if you looked at your shop as well, the corners on a lot of the books were damaged. They had some fraying on it, some tears. because that's a thick book. It's 80 pages, and they should have done a square-bound book. Now, someone had told me that Marvel had made the comment when a person asked why they didn't go square-bound, and because of they had the issue with the corners when they did the $9.99 Deadpool book about a year ago, and they came up with the comment about, Marvel came up with the comment, well, it really doesn't matter because CGC doesn't take off for bad corners. CGC should take off for bad corners because some of the corners were really bad. Don't tell me that you can see a tear and they're not going to downgrade it on there. Because if you don't downgrade it, then issues that we've talked about not being consistent with your grading. So I was able to find what I felt were acceptable corners on this book. But if you looked at them, they were all pretty much thrashed up a little bit. So I've got a question. I'll just kind of go on from there. I got a question from a viewer who was asking me, what was your favorite modern cover or a cover that you just really liked? And I thought about that. There's been a lot of really cool covers that have come out, but this is one I picked up. I stuck with the Batman theme. I love Batman, and as it relates to the covers. And then I have a question that a viewer sent me. So here's the book I picked. I picked Batman White Knight #2 as a cover. And the reason I picked it is because of the Joker right there. On his knees, surrounded by Batman stuff, grabbing his head. You can just feel the voices in his head tormenting him as he obsesses over how to stop Batman. And for some reason, when I saw this cover, it was like, you know what? That is just a really great cover for that White Knight storyline. And I just like the cover. You don't see the Joker, you just see him from behind. I just love that cover. That cover was great to me. So I'd like to hear what you guys think of some of your favorite modern covers. And then someone asked me about Bernie Wrightson, the great Bernie Wrightson. Here's a couple of covers I like from Bernie Wrightson. This is House of Secrets #93. Sorry about the glare. And then a House of Mystery 195. That's an iconic cover right there. Love Bernie Wrightson. I've said that 1,000 times. You cannot go wrong with Bernie Wrightson. A couple of covers there. Excuse me. I had a question from a viewer who said, I really enjoy you showing your favorite comic books, but I would like to see you show a story arc or a run of books that you think might go up in the next year with everything going on. I thought about it, and I try not to, I make judgment calls based on how I feel, and I usually don't put it out there for people, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to throw it out there, and it kind of ties in with the White Knight storyline because there's some similarities in it. It was a Batman storyline that came out in 1996 called The Long Halloween, and this was book #1 of The Long Halloween. These are all super high grade. That's a square bound book right there. Why couldn't Marvel do that with 800? So I'll show you all the covers. There's cover 1, 2, 3, 4, Joker in the glass, 5, 'Poison Ivy, 6, Riddler, 7, great cover. I love the Tombstone covers. We've talked about that before. This was number 8. And staying with the Tombstone theme, they had the young Bruce Wayne on number 8. They had the older Bruce Wayne, number 9. Love those covers right there. 2 of my favorite covers on this story run right here. There's number 10. Sorry about the glare. 11. 12. And 13. This is Dark Knight Halloween Special. and that is the Long Halloween story arc. The thing I liked about the Long Halloween is that it was an excellent story, and you can just tell, I just have a feeling that they're going to do something with this. There were some similarities between Long Halloween and White Knight, and I just really like that. Now, if you look at them online, you can find a run 1 through 13. If you want to buy the individual books, I prefer individual books on things like this. I might buy a trade, but I always like to buy the individuals as well. So you can pick up a trade fairly cheap in the $20 range, but you can get a set of the 13 in decent condition between $50 and $75. When you start getting into the higher conditions, these books are starting to sell in the $115, $120 range for higher grade books. And this is a book that I think, this is a story run that I think is going to go up for first prints in the next year. I've picked up a couple of sets of the books, and it's just something that I just kind of get a gut feeling that they're going to come out with something, whether it's a movie or they're going to do something big with that storyline, because it is a good storyline. It was popular, similar to you know, Death in the Family, the storyline for Death in the Family, or Killing Joke, something in that nature. I think this storyline is going to be seen in the same manner as those two story arcs, and it's just going to continue to go up, because what's happening right now is people wait for announcements, or they wait for something to happen before they start buying the book. So I'm telling you, Long Halloween, pick up those storylines right now. I got a question from a viewer named Alex, and I'll try to get to it real quick. He was asking me about putting books in Mylar, and if it's okay if the book rubs against the Mylar. It is okay. This is what I use right here. I've showed this before. It's BCW. This is the 2 milliliter whatever Mylar right there, and I just use 2 simple backs, but I like to put the boards in the bag before I put the book in. Okay, some guys like to do it halfway. They'll put the book, they'll put the boards halfway and then slide it all in together. I'll put the boards all the way and just slide the book in. I've never had an issue with it. I like it, and I think it works out real good for me. So again, thank you for the question, Alex. I hope that kind of answered your question. If you want, I can go into more detail on how to store things and how I protect my books in a future video. This one's running a little long right now, so this was kind of a rattle video, rattling on. Like I said, it's been a real tough couple of days for me dealing with some stuff. So again, 800 came out this week, expensive price point, but really nice book, good story. But it's all we have this week, so I hope you liked the video. But as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great night, and I'll see you next week.